Welcome back. In the previous video, I showed you a demonstration part for the project. Now let's focus in the backend Java coding. First, let's take a near look about pom.xml. This file represents as a descriptor project. This is the description of the jar file, and this is the main base JDK version is 11. And let's take a look about dependencies. This dependency for mail dependency, this one for REST API, and this one Swagger documentation. So here I make a mistake, so I put this line here for Swagger documentation, and this is just for the tests, and here this dependency to validate the input user. This is all dependencies which I used. So let's take a look about application.properties. So here this is the server port 8081, and here I use SMTP protocol, and this is the port number, and this is my email, and this is the password. So I show you how you can generate this password. So here authentication through and start TLS is through. So all this configuration for the mail and this line for the Swagger documentation. Now I show you how you can generate this password. So to do that, go into your account and go into security, password for the application, and here let's authenticate. Create newest one, so choose here another and make a name, for example Spring to demo, generate, and this is the password. So copy this password and put it here, spring.mail.password, and put here your email. Let's take a look about email class model. Here we have ID, and here we have email receiver. This annotation to validate the email. So this annotation comes from the validator dependency. The same thing here to validate the subject, main length 3 and the max is 50, and for the body the main length is 5, and this variable to grab the current .time email sending. Here we have a simple constructor which contains email receiver, subject and the body, and here I call email ID auto increments to increment the ID. All this thing is a getter, and here we have get.time to grab the date time, and here we have a formatter. Here we have year, month, day, hours, minutes and second. So let's take a near look about email ID. So this class for auto increment ID, and the ID began from the 1. Swagger configuration. So this class to document the API. Here we have a selector. We have this line to document just the controller inside email package. So I want to document just this package and exactly email controller. And this line to document just the API begins with API keyword. So I want to document just the endpoints which began with API keyword. Let's take a near look about email service. It's a simple class, a service notation, and here we have a list to create new object from email list class. And here we have a function to send simple email. We need set to email receiver and the body and the subject. And here this line allows us to send an email. And this is just the output. You can delete this line. And here each email sent will be added into email list. And get email list to returns list of emails, and here get email by ID, which has one parameter ID, to return all the emails with a specific ID. So here I used stream, so here email, and if email.get ID equals ID, I return this list. So here I return all the emails with a specific ID. Let's see email controller, REST controller. So this class for REST API, this annotation for Swagger just for developer side, and this is request mapping. So this is the path API v1 email. So this class respond when I visit this path in the URL. So when I visit this path, this class respond. So here we have a constructor. I initialize the email service to benefit from all the services present in the email service. Here we have API operation. So this annotation to show this message beside the function project description. So I run this project to clarify the idea. So this is the main class in Java Spring. So here you should add this annotation to enable Swagger in the main class. So let's run. Let's try to visit Swagger documentation. So this is the page. Open email controller. So as we see, this is the description. Function returns a string description API. So this text comes from this line. Let's see, where is it? So inside email controller. So the function returns the string description. Function returns the string description API. So this annotation to show this message beside the function project description. Get mapping request, simple function which returns a string. So here we have also get mapping path. If I add all emails, I grab all the list emails. And here we have also get mapping to grab all the emails with a specific ID. We have path variable. So this function accepts email ID as a parameter in the URL get request. I called email service.get email by ID. And here we have also post mapping. So this annotation for the description send email function. So here we have send email, post mapping, and here we have this annotation valid. So valid annotation to validate the email object created. And here we have request body will be the email. So as I show you here in the previous video, so this is the body, and request parameter I have this integer. So this integer, it doesn't important if I put it. So here by default I keep it 1. So if mbr email equals null, I keep it 1 by default. And if this object has a variable, so I loop till I reach mbr email input parameter. So this is the email controller. In the next video we try to create a graphical user interface front end to exploit this API.